My relationship with my mother-in-law, Ellie, was far from idyllic. We clashed on almost everything, and her disapproval of my chosen career as a writer was a constant source of tension. She never missed an opportunity to criticize my job, belittling it as if it weren't a real profession. Ellie, with her traditional mindset and old-fashioned values, couldn't fathom why I didn't pursue a more practical path. In her eyes, success was measured by a stable corporate job with a fancy title and a six-figure salary. But for me, writing was my passion, my escape, and my way of expressing myself to the world. Despite Ellie's constant jabs and snide remarks, I found solace in the unwavering support of my loving husband, Kylan. He believed in my talent and encouraged me to pursue my dreams. Kylan understood the power of storytelling and recognizing that my words had the potential to touch people's hearts. With his unwavering encouragement, I continued to write, honoring my craft and pouring my soul onto the pages. But no matter how confident I felt in my abilities, Ellie's words had a way of seeping into my consciousness. Her disapproval created self-doubt, planting seeds of insecurity within me. I questioned my talent, wondering if maybe I should have chosen a different path, one that would earn her approval. Yet deep down, I knew that my happiness and fulfillment should never be determined by someone else's narrow definition of success. I was a writer, and I had the power to create words, evoke emotions, and inspire change. That was real enough for me. Anyways, Kyle and I got married, and as the years went by, Ellie's criticism only intensified. She couldn't resist the opportunity to demean my profession. During family gatherings or casual conversations, her disdain for my work became a constant backdrop to our interactions, poisoning the air with negativity. So, Zara, how's your writing career going? Any new bestsellers yet? Well, I'm still working on it. It takes time to build a readership and establish myself as an author. I bet. But really, Zara, when are you going to get a real job? How much do you even make with your writing? Well, it's not a huge income, to be honest. Writing can be a tough industry, especially in the beginning. I figured as much. I mean, who can make a living out of scribbling words on a page? It's not like you work for some famous company or anything. It was Kylan's uncle's birthday. We were surrounded by friends and family, and I could tell that Ellie was trying to disparage and discredit me in front of all these people. I began to panic, noticing the smirks and giggles all around me, and I felt helpless. But through it all, Kylan remained my rock, standing by my side with unwavering support. He saw the fire in my eyes when I spoke about my stories and the joy that writing brought to my life. Kylan knew that my passion was genuine, and he celebrated every success, big or small, with me. So, noticing my discomfort, he said, "Mom, that's enough. Zara's career choice is her passion, and she's working hard to make her mark. It's not about the money or the fame. It's about her love for storytelling and the impact she can have on others." Thank you, Kylan. Writing may not bring in a fortune right now, but it brings me fulfillment and happiness, and that's worth more than any paycheck. Well, I suppose if you're content with being a struggling artist, then who am I to argue? At that moment, I realized that defending my passion and standing up for myself was essential. Ellie's negativity couldn't dampen my spirit or diminish the significance of my writing. With Kylan's unwavering support and my own determination, I knew I could overcome any obstacles and prove that my chosen path was not only valid, but worthy of admiration. Despite the toxicity of our relationship, I held on to the hope that Ellie would one day see the value in what I did. I longed for her acceptance, for her to understand that my job was more than just a hobby. It was a part of who I was, an integral piece of my identity. That was until the day she tried to sabotage my career. I was at home as I normally was, working on my books, when Ellie texted me and told me that she was outside. I was, of course, surprised at her impromptu visit. We'd never really hang out, just the two of us, as I'm sure you can imagine, due to her disdain for my career and my stubbornness, as she liked to call it. Nonetheless, I obviously invited her inside, telling her that I had to get some work done, but she was more than welcome to stay. She obliged, despite clearly being irritated that I had to work, and we began to make small talk, which was decent enough. There I was, sitting at my computer, passionately pouring my heart into my writing. It was my escape, my outlet, and the one thing that brought me true joy. But little did I know, my peaceful writing session was about to turn into a battlefield. Throughout our conversation, I excused myself for a quick bathroom break, not suspecting a thing. When I sauntered back into the room, I found myself frozen in my tracks. There she was, Ellie, my charming mother-in-law, lurking over my computer with a mischievous glint in her eyes. It was like stumbling upon an uninvited guest who had taken the liberty to make themselves a little too comfortable. She was hovering over my computer like a vulture eyeing its prey. My heart sank, and anger surged through my veins like wildfire. She saw me coming in, but wasn't deterred to stop what she was doing, and as I got closer, my confusion turned to anger as I realized that she was trying to delete my work. "What the actual hell, Ellie? What do you think you're doing?" "Oh, just trying to make a point, Zara. Your writing isn't a real job, you know. I thought I'd give you a reality check." "A reality check? Are you kidding me? This is my passion, my dream. You have no right to invade my personal space and sabotage something that means everything to me. Passion and dreams won't pay the bills, sweetheart. It's time you faced reality and found a real job." "Reality? This is my reality. Writing is what makes me come alive, what brings me fulfillment. Just because it doesn't fit into your narrow definition of success doesn't mean it's any less valid." "Well, good luck with that, dear. Let's see where your little writing escapade gets you." My anger was boiling over. I couldn't hold back any longer. How dare she belittle my dreams, dismiss my hard work, and try to crush my spirit? Even though he wasn't here, Kylan lent me some of his assertiveness. Ellie had declared war on my passion, and I wasn't about to back down. "You know what, Ellie? You may not understand or support my choices, but that doesn't give you the right to undermine my work. I won't let your negativity poison my passion any longer. Get out of my house, now." "Your house? Don't make me laugh. This is my son's house. And it's also my house. Don't believe me? You can check the name on the deed." "Fine. Have it your way. But don't say I didn't warn you when you end up with nothing." With that, she stormed out of the house, leaving behind a mix of anger, hurt, and relief. What exactly had gotten into that woman that day? Only God knows. I mean, was that her plan all along? To try and catch me unawares in my home so that she could make her attack? To this day, I don't really know what possessed her to do such a thing, but if I'm being honest, I'm low-key glad that she did, because the day that she did that was the very same day that I was inspired to take action that would have permanent effects. Perhaps that was the only way that she'd learned to leave me alone. As Kylan walked through the front door many hours later, his exhaustion from a long day at work was evident on his face, but as soon as his eyes met mine, he knew something was amiss. I could see the concern etched in his features, and I knew it was time to fill him in on the tumultuous encounter I had with his mother. "What happened, Zara? You look upset." "So, your mom decided to visit today, and we were talking, but I told her that I had to get some work done because of a deadline. She agreed, and eventually I had to use the bathroom. And, well, when I came back, I found her standing over my computer trying to delete my work." I can't believe she would do something like that. That's beyond disrespectful. I need to call her right now and give her a piece of my mind. No, Kylan. Calling her in the heat of the moment won't solve anything. I have a different idea. What do you mean? What's your plan? Instead of giving her the satisfaction of our reactions, let's show her that her actions won't break us. What do you mean, babe? Let's focus on proving her wrong. I'm going to hit her where it hurts the most. She keeps talking about my writing career like she's obsessed. So let me write a book about her. Kylan was surprisingly okay with the idea. Despite Ellie being his mother, he was on board for teaching her a lesson. That's why he was my rock. He distributed justice to everyone who deserved it, regardless of his relation to them. And at that moment, as we held each other, I knew that together we would face the challenges ahead not only with resilience, but with a renewed determination to pursue my passion and prove Ellie wrong. The very next morning I sat at my desk, fueled by a newfound determination and a burning desire to tell my story. The idea had sparked in my mind like a flame that couldn't be extinguished. I was going to write a book about my mother-in-law, Ellie. As I poured my anger and frustrations onto the pages, a floodgate of emotions burst open. Every encounter, every snide remark, and every moment of belittlement became a vivid scene in my mind. I channeled my anger into words, crafting a fictional piece that drew heavy inspiration from my own experiences. This would be my catharsis, my way of reclaiming my power. I titled the piece, "The Evil Narcissist That Nobody Likes." It felt fitting, capturing the essence of the woman who had caused me so much pain. The story delved into the toxic dynamics of a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship, exploring themes of manipulation, control, and the struggle for self-identity. It was a story that needed to be told, not just for me, but for others who had suffered under similar circumstances. The days turned into endless nights of writing. Ideas flowed through me like a torrential downpour, filling the pages with raw emotions and gripping narratives. Each sentence, each chapter was a small victory against the power Ellie held over my life. It was my way of reclaiming my voice, of exposing the toxicity that had festered in the shadows for far too long. After months of working and with trembling hands, I finally held the first rough draft of my book. The weight of its significance settled upon me, a mix of pride and vulnerability. This was my story, and I was ready to share it with the world. With newfound courage, I began pitching my book to various publishers, determined to find the right platform to amplify my voice. Rejections and setbacks came, as they often do in the competitive world of publishing, but I refused to let them deter me. I knew that this story needed to be heard and that countless others had faced similar battles with their toxic in-laws. The spark of resilience within me burned brighter with each rejection, pushing me forward. And then, one day, a glimmer of hope emerged. A small publishing house expressed interest in my manuscript. They saw the raw power of the narrative, the authenticity that emanated from every page. Negotiations ensued, and a deal was struck. My book would see the light of day. The journey wasn't over yet. There were revisions to be made and edits to be perfected, but with every revision I felt a sense of liberation, as if each word erased a piece of the pain I had carried for so long. The process was grueling, but the result would be worth it. As I neared the final stages of publication, a sense of empowerment washed over me. I had transformed my pain into art, and my frustrations into a story that would resonate with others. No longer would I be silenced by Ellie's toxic influence. I would reclaim my narrative, pun intended, and in doing so, inspire others to find their voices. I smiled as I held the printed copy of my book in my hands. It was a tangible representation of my resilience, a symbol of the strength I had found within myself. "How are you feeling, champ?" "Honestly, I'm a bit nervous." "Everything that you worked for is for this moment. You did it, and I'm so proud of you." It's quite odd that you'd think that, considering the way that I tore your mother a new one in my book. The book is hilarious and it's great, and honestly, she deserves to be knocked down a couple of pegs. And besides, it's not like you used real names. So technically speaking, she shouldn't assume it's about her. If the shoe fits, right? I took a deep breath, ready to share my story with the world. Ellie's reign of toxicity may have shaped my past, but it would no longer define my future. With each word, each page, I would rise above her influence, carving my path and finding solace in the power of my voice. As my book hit the shelves, it ignited a firestorm of attention. The response was overwhelming, surpassing even my wildest dreams. The evil narcissist that nobody likes became a huge success and a bestseller, capturing the hearts and minds of readers across the country. Within the first week alone, thousands of copies flew off the shelves, and the numbers continued to climb as the months went by. With the growing success of my book came a flurry of media appearances. I found myself sitting across talk show hosts, engaging in thought-provoking discussions about the toxic dynamics of mother-in-law relationships. Podcasts invited me to share my journey, my words resonating with listeners who had endured their battles with difficult family members. The world was finally listening, and I felt empowered by the platform I had been given. Yet, amidst the whirlwind of publicity, I couldn't help but notice Ellie's absence. She had become noticeably inactive on social media, and her presence within the family group chat had dwindled. I wondered if she had read my book and if the words I had written had penetrated the wall she had built around herself. Kylan, ever supportive and loyal, informed me that his mother had indeed read the book. However, she remained radio silent, offering no response or acknowledgement of the pain I had laid bare on those pages. It left me questioning whether my words had reached her, whether my vulnerability had touched a chord within her hardened heart. Months passed, and the success of my book continued to soar. The media frenzy intensified, propelling me into the spotlight as the voice for those who had suffered in silence. It was during this time that Ellie finally decided to reach out and call. "Zara, I can't believe you would write such lies about me in your book. How could you make me out to be some sort of monster?" "Ellie, I never mentioned any real names in my book. It's a work of fiction that draws inspiration from various experiences. There are no direct references to you or anyone else. It's a reflection of the broader dynamics that exist in many mother-in-law relationships." "Well, it sure feels like you are targeting me specifically. I can't believe you would stoop so low." "Maybe the reason why you feel targeted is because you know you're guilty." What? How dare you accuse me of... Save it, Ellie. You're a snake and you know it. You're just mad because my book helped you realize that. Our relationship has been strained for a long time, and this was my way of processing and expressing my emotions. It was never meant to attack or defame you personally, but you know how the saying goes, if the shoe fits, then wear it. You've always been dramatic and exaggerated things. I just thought you would have shown some respect for your family and kept our private matters private. Respect goes both ways, Ellie. It's been incredibly hurtful that you haven't even congratulated me on the success I've achieved with the book. But I can't say I'm surprised, since it's triggering you so much. I'm not triggered. Instead of acknowledging the years of pain and frustration I endured, you're focused on feeling attacked. Well, even if what you said was true, you're rich and successful now. You needn't worry about that useless career anymore, and furthermore, you could spare some money for your dear old mother-in-law. You're unbelievable. Your first reaction to my success is to ask for money? I didn't mean it like that, Zara. I just thought maybe you could help me out since you're doing so well. Well, as I recall it, you were so hateful of this same career that has brought me so much success. Didn't you call it a waste of time? A hobby? Not a real job? Well, I didn't mean it like that, Zara, and you know that I like to joke around. You're a pathetic excuse for a woman, and I'm glad that I wrote this book so that the people who can connect the dots will know just how awful you truly are. Ellie tried to reach out on multiple occasions after our phone call. She even tried to get Kylan to ease my temper, but we weren't having any more of her toxic behavior. I was no longer held captive by Ellie's toxic grip. My book not only resonated with readers, but also sparked a transformation within me. I had found my voice, reclaimed my power, and forged a path towards healing and growth. And so, as the chapters of my life unfolded, I realized that my book had become more than a tale of pain and adversity. It had become a catalyst for change, a testament to the power of resilience and the importance of speaking one's truth. Through my writing, I not only liberated myself, but also sparked a dialogue that resonated with countless others. I smiled, knowing that the journey was far from over. With each passing day, I would continue to grow, write, and inspire. The past would always be a part of me, but it would no longer define me. I had found my voice, and I was ready to embrace the future, guided by the light of my own truth. And so I continued to write, with my head held high, ready to face whatever challenges came my way. Because in the end, it wasn't about gaining Ellie's approval. It was about staying true to myself and living a life filled with purpose and passion.